Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to everyone. Welcome to today's educational forum titled Exploring Effective Assessment Method Beyond Written Tests. I'm Nizami Shifa binti Nizam Auhelio and I'm honored to have served as the moderator for this session. Joining me today are five distinguished panelists from various sectors of education, each bringing valuable insights and experience to the table. We have Puan Nur Ashikin binti Ismail, a dedicated secondary teacher.
Hi, I'm Prana Shikin. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, thank you. So we have Dr. Nur Najma Nabilah binti Mar Faisal, a lecturer from a teaching training institute.
Hello, you can call me Dr. Najma.
Okay, thank you. So next we have Dr. Fatin Nabilah binti Osman, a university lecturer with expertise in high education assessment.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Nabila.
We have Puan Nurul Fatin Shazana binti Maharudin, representing the State Department of Education.
Hi everyone, I'm Wan Fatin.
Okay. And lastly, we have Puan Asmahul Husna binti Jahrod, an officer from the Curriculum Development Division.
Hi, I'm Pansna. Nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you. So today we will delve into alternative methods of assessment that goes beyond the conventional written tasks, including oral presentation, observational assessment, practical tasks, project-based learning, and portfolio evaluation. These approaches not only enhance the student engagement but also provide a more holistic picture of learners' abilities and progress. With that, let's begin this enlightening uh, discussion. So, to start with our discussion for today, I would like to invite Puan Husna to share what exactly is oral assessment and what are its advantages and challenges.
Thank you, Miss Moderator. So, oral assessment is a form of exam where we test a student's knowledge and understanding through verbal communications. So, it provides dynamic alternative to written tests as they enhance students' verbal communication, which allows for immediate feedbacks and offer deeper insight into critical thinking and reasoning, in which make it more relevant for real world scenarios. So, this type of assessment can have its own challenge, such as subjective grading among examiners, which relies highly on their skill in order to be fair. So the exam itself is time consuming. So student anxiety and language fluency can affect their performance. Difficulty in recording for assessment as well as the venue for the exam.
Thank you. That sounds like it can be troublesome for the students' learning process. How do you think we can structure oral assessment in order to effectively coach the students' comprehension and critical thinking, Dr. Najma?
Thank you, Miss Nizami. I do agree with you that it can be troublesome for the students' learning process when we think about the challenges that we will face with oral assessment. But I believe that we can overcome this by coming up with a proper structure of it. When it comes to the structure of oral assessment, it is important that we are able to define a clear objective and design its questions accordingly to the objective itself. We will follow a proper rubric with criteria that we can observe very objectively from an objective point of view. So based on this, we can then decide on what appropriate format to hold the exam itself, either through one-on-one interviews, role plays, or simulations, or through a panel discussion among a group of students. We should still keep in mind that we need to encourage a dialogue among the students themselves and not just them simply giving us answers to the questions that we given them. And we also need to keep in mind to constantly provide them feedback that they need. And we also need to have records of the assessment so that we can review it back and give it feedback for future plans so that we can improve in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. That is a very helpful insight, Dr. Najma. I'm sure that we all agree that oral exams can be used to our advantage with proper structure. However, I would like to ask Dr. Nabila if there are specific contexts where oral tests most appropriate and how do they complement with written assessment?
Thank you to moderator. As I agree with the point given by Puan Husna and Dr. Najma, oral exams are most appropriate when the learning objective requires spoken communication, real-time thinking, and interpersonal interaction. It is most useful in language learning, humanities, and social science, professional and vocational training, as well as evaluation for problem-solving skills and diverse learners. Oral assessment complement written one by allowing students to be interactive learners, interactive, spontaneous, and allow them to reason out their thought process. It also gives more personal feedback and allow in a more deep evaluation of the students.
Thank you, Dr. Nabila, for the helpful insight. I think we can all agree that oral exams, although having its own challenges, it is a powerful tool in ensuring a more dynamic lesson among our students. Moving on to the observational assessment. For Fatin, what role does it have when it comes to assessing students' learning?
Thank you, Miss Nizami. When we talk about observational assessment, it actually allows educators to capture authentic learning in real time, and particularly in labs, workshop, or field environments. And this type of assessment plays a key role in assessing student learning by providing real-time insights into how students apply their knowledge in practical situations. It also helps teachers identify each student's strengths and areas that can be improved so that they can offer the right support or challenge. And through observation, educators can adjust their teaching plans to better suit their student needs, and also they can track their progress over time. And I also believe that it helps create a more inclusive classroom by revealing students' social and emotional needs. So overall, observations support a deeper and more personalized understanding of student learnings and growth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, as Point Fatin has mentioned, observation is important to assess students' progress in learning. So, upon Ashikin, how can educators effectively observe and evaluate students' performance in various settings such as a laboratory, workshop, or fieldwork?
Thank you, Miss Nizami. As educators can effectively do so by using structured observation with clear learning goals and observable behaviors, such as tool use or safety procedures. So performance-based tasks like experiment or field data analysis allow students to demonstrate real-world application of knowledge. So providing timely and specific feedback helps learners understand both their strengths and areas for improvement. So to deepen the assessment, educators should should encourage active students engagement through discussion, group work, and hands-on tasks. So this is not only boosts participations but also supports staff-directed learning and reflections. Is giving educators a clearer view of student progress. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Ashikin. You have made it clear that objectivity and reliability is of utmost importance when assessing students from mere observation. So, Dr. Najma, what kind of strategies would you suggest to our fellow educators in order to ensure both objectivity and reliability is enforced in observational assessment?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. Being objective and being reliable in observation assessment can be difficult, but we can actually ensure that the exams are still held to be fair. We can start this by having a clear definition of the research questions and objectives. This is to ensure that the focus of the task or the assessment itself is still relevant to the student. We can choose observation methods and settings that will match with what they are trying to study, what the students are trying to learn, such as either using labs or in natural environments. We can also use triangulation method by combining different data sources, methods of or observers, so that we can confirm findings, so that it's not biased. We can confirm that uh, three different uh, three different sources find the same findings, as an example. We also need to have a careful planning and documentation of the process itself, which includes who is being observed, where and how the data is collected. This can help maintain its consistency and trustworthiness of the assessment. Lastly, we also need to train and standardize the observers by giving them clear guidelines, either by using checklists or rating scales. And also, we need to teach them how to avoid bias. I believe that these strategies can help make observational types of assessments accurate and reliable.
Okay, thank you for the helpful insights regarding the observational assessments, Dr. Najma. Other than the two that we have discussed, we also have form of exam called practical assessment. Point 14. Would you like to start with sharing how this sort of assessment contributes to holistic understanding of a student competency?
Thank you, Miss Nizami. From my perspective, I believe that practical assessment offers a comprehensive and also holistic approach that considers different aspects of an individual performance, including their skills, competencies, and also the surrounding environment's influence towards them. And through combining various assessment techniques and activities, this method fosters a more complete and balanced development. And also, the goal of this process is not to limit the students regarding their choices or actions, but instead it seeks to support them in understanding their lifelong learning journey. And it also empowers our students to critically evaluate and improve the assessment method that they experience throughout their education. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the information. So, based on what you have mentioned, it would mean that it is crucial that we choose proper tasks in doing this assessment. Dr. Nabila, what type of tasks would be suitable for a practical assessment and how would they align with our learning objectives?
A practical assessment task is designed to allow students to demonstrate their understanding and skills through hands-on engagement and application, rather than relying solely on written or spoken responses. This approach emphasizes action over more knowledge acquisition. For example, it includes elements of social interaction such as group case studies, interviews, presentation, and role-playing activities. The connection between assessment method and learning objectives reveals both opportunities and challenges. On the bright side, it offers structure of outlining, describing the learning progression path for students. On the flip side, it might be difficult to ensure that activities, assessment, feedback, and content are relevant in line with the learning objectives that are meant for students. Effective alignment of practical assessment with learning objectives is achieved when the insight are endeavors requisite for the venture directly complement with the initial goals.
So, thank you so much. Based on what you have explained, all of these would be crucial in ensuring that our students are capable to engage and apply their knowledge in real life, which means that it should be included in our curriculum. As an officer from the Curriculum Development Division, how we sorry, how have we integrated practical assessments into current curriculum planning and instruction for staff?
And fun fatigue. So, integrating practical assessment into the curriculum design and teaching process is an effective strategy for facilitating continuous learning and development. So, this method allows educators to identify specific learning gaps that students may have by encouraging students to actively reflect on their own skills and the retention of their knowledge. Educators can promote personal growth and self-awareness among learners. So, um, providing clear guidance and constructive feedback is essential in this process. This approach let them grasp what the students are familiar with and are capable of performing. Thus enables them to tailor educational experience to better align with students' diverse needs and capabilities. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. So, moving on to the fieldwork projects and portfolios, what would your take be on these sorts of assessments when compared to written exams, Puan Ashikin? How would incorporating them into the assessment process be beneficial?
Thank you, Ms. Nizami. So, incorporating fieldwork, projects, and portfolio into the assessment process offer numerous benefits. that extend beyond traditional exam. These are form of authentic assessment that mirror real world tasks, is enabling students to demonstrate knowledge and skills in meaningful contexts. So they support the development of soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and critical thinking and time management also. So the competency that are not easily measured through written tests. Such active and hands-on learning encourages measured through written tests. So I'm sorry, such active and hands-on learning encourages long-term retention by deepening conceptual understanding. So personalized learning is fostered through portfolios where students can reflect and showcase their individual growth, strengths, and interests over time. So this assessment types also promote inclusive education, offering fairer opportunities for students with diverse learning styles or language background who may struggle in time and written formats. So overall, fieldwork projects and portfolios encourages students' engagement, creativity, and the application of knowledge in real-world settings in preparing learners for academic success and future professional demands. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I see. Uh, Dr. Najma and Pon Ashikin did mention of student engagement, creativity, and real-world application of the knowledge. How exactly would these sorts of assessment encourage the students as such?
Okay. So field work, projects, and portfolios, all of them have significant effects on enhancing a student's engagement, creativity, and real-world application of their knowledge. Their relevance to life and career makes learning more meaningful for them. So the fieldwork projects, they will connect the academic content, the knowledge that they learn in classroom, to real settings like communities, businesses, or ecosystems. This can increase their motivation and show students that there is a purpose for what they are learning. These assessments also can promote a more active kind of participation by using hands-on tasks, inquiries, and experimentation. All this, we believe, can maintain a student's interest more effectively than the normal classroom setting, and it can foster their creativity and innovation as they are allowed to express their ideas through formats such as presentation, videos, or physical models, which allows for more imaginative kind of thinking and problem solving. Additionally, these kinds of assessments also supports a sense of ownership for the students. They are more responsible for their own learning in other sense. When students are more involved in planning and executing the project or creating portfolios, for example, they will need to take a greater sense of responsibility, and this will make them feel prideful for their work. So, this kind of ownership will boost their confidence, which will then encourages deeper learning and will better prepare the students for real world challenges that are beyond the classroom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, based on what both Pon Ashikin and Dr. Najma have mentioned, it has been made clear that fieldwork projects and portfolio are crucial additions to the assessment process to ensure that our students are holistic learners. However, it is undeniable that its evaluation would not be easy. Dr. Nabila, can you tell us what considerations our educators should keep in mind when designing and evaluating such assignments?
When designing and evaluating fieldwork, projects, and portfolios, educators should consider several important factors to ensure effectiveness and fairness. Start with clear learning objectives, aligning each task with specific outcomes to provide focus and purpose. Use structured guidelines and rubrics to set transparent expectations and support objective evaluation. Ensure feasibility and resources are considered, such as time, materials, and accessibility, so all students can participate equally, especially in fieldwork tasks. Apply scaffolding and support by breaking complex tasks into stages. Examples like reflection, peer reviews, or viva style interviews to help students verify ownership of the work. Lastly, assessment should be reflect cultural and contextual relevance, connecting tasks to students' local environment, values, and societal challenges to enhance engagement and meaningful learning. With this consideration, educators can design assessments that are inclusive, impactful, and truly reflective of student understanding.
All right, thank you so much. So, I think we can all agree that diverting our assessment methods are proven to be more advantageous for their development. I do believe that although it may not be easy, including these assessments in the curriculum is achievable. So, Puan Fatin, as the representative from the State Department of Education, what strategies can educators employ to effectively integrate diverse assessment methods into their teaching process? I mean, teaching practice.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nizami. And one key strategy that I can share is the backward design approach, where we start with thinking about our desired learning outcomes, and then we can plan our assessment that align with that. For example, if collaboration is a target, group projects or peer assessment are more suitable than individual exams. So, formative assessment, such as reflections, journals, and interactive tools like live polls, can help us track their progress in real time. And we also encourage the use of rubrics and checklists to maintain transparency and consistency, especially in performance based tasks, so that the students will know what we expect from them. And I think we can also include any digital tools like Kahoot, Padlet, or Flipgrid into our oral and hands-on activities to ensure that the diverse learning preferences are met. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puan Fatin. As diverse learning was mentioned, how exactly would these assessment methods be tailored to meet the needs of individual learners and promote inclusivity? Would you mind give a few recommendations as the officer from the Curriculum Development Division for Husna?
So, inclusivity begins with offering choice-based tasks where students can select formats like videos, posters, or written reports based on their strengths. So we also promote differentiated instruction by adjusting task difficulty or providing support, like sentence starters for ELL students. Most importantly, we apply universe design for learning UDL principles. So this includes using assistive technology, giving extra time, or offering alternative assessment. Format such as UDL itself ensures that all students, regardless of background or ability, have an equal chance to demonstrate their learning.
Okay, thank you so much. I understand. So, based on your own learning experience, Ponashkin, what are some examples of successful implementation of alternative assessment methods in various education settings that you can share with us?
Thank you, Ms. Andretta. In my classroom, we have used project-based learning in STEM. So, for example, students design eco-friendly homes, applying their math and science skills in real-world context. So, we also use portfolio assessment in language and art classes, where students can compile work over time. So, the portfolio will help them reflect and track their own progresses in time. So another method I love is role play and simulation, like mock trials in history that will encourage critical thinking and creativity. So for subject like music and PE, we assess through actual performance tasks such as fitness or choreographed routines. So these methods make learning more engaging and meaningful for the students and the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing about this. So, if that's all, thank you so much for to Puan Ashikin, Dr. Najma, Dr. Nabila, Puan Fatin, and Puan Husna for the very insightful information that we have discussed. I believe that our education system has been changing over the past few decades as more diverse ways of learning have been introduced. I do believe that the future of our children relies heavily on how we educate. Hence, it is important that we evaluate their ability to obtain and retain knowledge in ways that are fair for all of learners. So we have reached the end of our forum discussion on exploring effective assessment methods beyond written tests for today. I hope that we have managed to obtain new and useful information and are able to implement them for the future of our students. Thank you so much.